Hello, SpongeGex here, and the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Wave 3 DLC is finally out. Ugh, that's always a mouthful to try to say the names of these. So overall, I was really impressed with this pack. Still are a few kind of bland stages, but I'd say this so far might be the best pack in the game. I really like the Moon Cup, which is the last cup we'll be going through. But so for right now, I think this is Rock Cup. So first we have one of the Mario Kart Tour levels, London, and I've said this so many times in the previous videos, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of these levels that are based on real-life locations. Again, I think they're neat ideas, but I think they're just really bland stages overall. They just feel kind of flat. There aren't enough hills or crazy surfaces or anything. I don't know, and I also hate those like red arrows. I get what they're for, though. They're to try to make levels that keep changing as the laps progress. So there will be certain points where those red arrows will disappear to open up a new road. But if you try driving through it while the arrows are still there, it'll treat it like an out-of-bounds area and have Lakitu pull you back into the race. And I don't know. It's just kind of distracting, though. Sometimes I don't feel like... I think the signs are sometimes like in a really bad place. It looks like you can drive by there, and I don't know, it's just kind of distracting. Not a big fan. So yeah, I'm playing on 150 Grand Prix, and I was not doing good on this round, and I honestly blame it on the vehicle I chose. Because I changed my vehicle when I went to the next cup, and I was doing a bit better there. So I am just not a fan of the motorcycles, and this reminds me of why I don't like them. There's something about them where the turning is off, and I feel like it just doesn't gain enough speed. I feel like every time I'm playing with a motorcycle, everyone's just driving right by me, even when I'm not messing up. But yeah, this match did get pretty brutal. I was bombarded with a bunch of items, and I did a little bit better on the next one, but like I said, it was still challenging, though. But I still got hit a lot, but I feel like because I had a vehicle with better stats and controls, I was able to make it through a lot better. But so for this cup, playing as Rosalina, I started off terribly. I was getting a little better during the last two races, but it just wasn't enough. I still didn't. I got in second place, though, but not first. But this has been one of the worst races I've done in a long time. So I also noticed that they did make an update where you can now actually shut items on and off. However, it only works in versus mode, which is really unfortunate. It would have been nice to be able to do that for single player as well, but only versus mode. And so I know it's like everyone's making videos saying we can finally shut off the coins, or there are people breaking the game by having it where only the blue spiny shells or the bullet bills are the only items you can use, and that really breaks the game. It'll just be a marathon of... it feels like someone hacked the game, but no. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo does have to end up patching it again. They'll probably do something to tone down like how many blue spines can be shot out at once, or I don't know, but... Okay, so Boo Lake from Super Circuit Game Boy Advance. I don't know. I've said this so many times, but I was never really a fan of the Game Boy Advance or Super Mario Kart levels, per se, so I'm never really excited when they bring these over. They did an okay job with this one, though, but honestly, there are so many better levels they could have chose from that had a very similar theme. Banshee Boardwalk from Mario Kart 64 would have been a much more deserving level to remake. There are a few differences, though. They did add a few zero-gravity segments, and they did add a few underwater segments, but then again, how many times have they reused this theme, even with the... I don't know, it feels like, is that all you can do, Nintendo, when you bring back one of these boring, blocky levels from the Super Nintendo or Game Boy Advance? Is that all you can do? Just add a few lifting areas and a few underwater segments? That's just getting kind of old now. It'd be nice to finally get a DLC pack where all of the levels I have something nice to say about them, because it always feels like the first couple have like one or two that I'm not crazy for, but then the rest are, they kind of make up for it. But yeah, this started off kind of slow. Well, at least this isn't like one of those other generic Mario Circuit levels where it has like the yellow sky and the yellow ground. So at least this one's a little more visually pleasing, but again, it feels like we already have way too many of these levels already in the game, so... I hate it when they bring past, you know, what's the point in remaking or bringing over other levels when they feel like levels you already have in the game? It's so pointless. Like, Banshee Boardwalk is basically the same thing of this, but better. There's a part where you actually go inside a haunted house. And the track layout was better for that. I know some people are getting kind of, like, it doesn't bother me that much, though, but I know for some people, a lot of people are sick of the DLC packs ignoring Mario Kart Double Dash. There's a lot of levels that could still be remade and brought over from that, and they're just not doing anything. But just wait. I'm pretty sure that eventually that Dino Jungle level will probably be brought over. I mean, because it feels like they're only bringing over levels that were remade and reused for Mario Kart Tour. So since that was a level that was brought over the Mario Kart Tour, I'll bet you it's going to be here eventually. But I'm hoping, it's a shame that one of the cups won't be called Rainbow Cup. I thought it would have been nice if one of the last, like, cups they have for this game is just, like, nothing but remakes of Rainbow Road courses that haven't been remade yet. So, luckily, there is a Rainbow Road that was remade for this pack. That's the last track for the, final track in this, wave. And it's a good one, too, the one from 3DS. But I don't know, I think there'd be something cool about, seeing, like, just nothing but the remakes of the Game Boy Advance. Not Game Boy Advance, but just the Rainbow Roads from some of the other games. It's like, we still don't have the one from DS, Double Dash, or, all that. So, I do see it kind of being a problem, but, like, I could imagine they might not, like, if they were to do the Game Boy Advance one of Rainbow Road, I could definitely imagine they're going to change it drastically, because there's the little Paper Mario Easter egg in the background with Bowser's Castle, and there's just something about modern Mario where they want to, like, omit any references to, like, the original Paper Mario or Mario RPGs. So, you know, it's like, if they're going to reference Paper Mario, they're going to reference the modern ones, like Sticker Star, Color Splash, or Origami King, you know, the heavily desaturated Paper Marios where they get rid of all the original characters and just have nothing but armies of Toads. So, like, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, in the Game Boy Advance one, there was an Easter egg of Paper Mario where you saw Peach's castle being carried away by Bowser's fortress, like in the opening cutscene from Paper Mario. It was a fun little Easter egg, and I see if they do remake that level, there's no way they're going to include that Easter egg. Especially since that would mean they'd have to remake that with a 3D model or something, I don't know. But on the Game Boy Advance one, it was easily just a PNG of, like, a cutout of, like, the actual in-game screenshot of it or something, I don't know. But okay, so this level right here, I forgot the name of it, but this was from the 3DS game, and this was a level I kind of liked. However, I honestly think that the textures on this just don't look very decent. There's something about even the 3DS version where, with its more primitive graphics, I thought the level stood out more, especially during the forest area. I remember in the forest area, there's something about, like, the way the light, like, shined through the leaves and all that. Like, it made for some pretty-looking still images and all that, and I don't get that effect anymore. Like, you kind of do when you get to the hill, but I remember you actually got, like, the sunbeams, like, shining down through the trees, like, even when you were driving through them. Here, it only appears right when you get to that ramp, and even then, I don't think the lighting effect looked as good. And I don't know what it is, but I remember this level looking a lot better on the 3DS, and for the most part, when they remake a lot of levels, they look better than I remember, and this is one case where I do think the original looked better. Like, both this and Rainbow Road 64, those were levels where, in Mario Kart 8, I wasn't too impressed with the remade versions, but most any other level, I am impressed with the visuals on the remakes. Otherwise, it's still a fine racetrack, though. I hope they eventually bring over, like, the Woohoo Island or the Wii Sports Resort inspired racetracks from Mario Kart 3DS. Those were kind of cool. Oh, this was really cool. Oh, I was so good. That felt so satisfying. Looked even cooler on replay. Yeah, no matter how many times I played this game, I still can never get tired of the replay mode. You just never know when something funny or cool looking will show up, and even during a race where you thought nothing happened, it's still worth checking out the replays just in case. And sometimes you can get some really cool screenshot opportunities, though. So, Maple Tree Way. There's no doubt that this is a fan favorite for Mario Kart Wii, and I remember they remade it for the 3DS version. I didn't like the 3DS version as much. I liked how in the original it had a fall setting, and for some reason on the 3DS version they made all the leaves look green, and it just felt off. It looked so cool with the fall setting. And so I'm glad they went back to the original theme, and it looks really nice. Like, there's no denying that the Wii version had some real annoying, like, lighting issues. Like, it tried using a bloom effect, and it was just too strong. And so here, they tried using a more realistic lighting system, and it could be considered strong in some levels, but I think it works really well for this level. I'd say my only criticism is I don't think the music's as good anymore. I honestly did prefer the Wii version of this music a lot better. And I don't... Like, compared to the other remakes of the music in Mario Kart 8, this one's pretty underwhelming. Otherwise, the level's still good. There are arguably a little less wigglers, like during the tree section. There's originally like a bunch of them going back and forth, making it basically obstacles. And I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually patch this. And so there probably will be people who'll complain that, oh, the wigglers aren't a hazard like they used to be. And people did the same thing about the Coconut Mall during the parking lot, and Nintendo actually fixed that. So now the Mii drivers are homicidal maniacs again. So yeah, it's like I remember like there were like many wigglers here going back and forth. Now it seems like they just wander around in random directions. So personally, I don't mind that though. Honestly, it will make each racetrack a little more unpredictable. instead of using the same pattern. It's kind of interesting how they have a more random movement now. But hard to believe we're already halfway through the Mario Kart 8 DLC. There's only about like 6 more racetracks left, or 3 more waves left, and after that, we're finally finished. Hard to say how long it'll take for them to come out, though, but hopefully we won't have to wait till next Christmas for the final wave to come out. Yeah, if there ever comes a day where Nintendo announces they're shutting down, like, the Nintendo Switch shops and all that, I'll have to make sure to buy physical copy or digital copies of these, because I only have access to these because I have the Nintendo Switch Online expansion, so I didn't bother buying these yet, because you can either buy them for, I think, like $20 or $30 for all the packs as they release, or you can get it for free for being subscribed to Nintendo Online's expansion, so... Otherwise, there probably will come a day where if I want to keep playing these levels, I probably will have to buy them physically. But for right now, I'll just rely on the subscription service. I'm surprised Mario Party 3 hasn't released yet. That's supposed to come out this month, I think. Because I know Mario Party 1 and 2 finally released on Switch Online expansion, and it's amazing to finally be able to play Mario Party 1 again. I forgot how brutal that game was, like, how the mini-games actually punish some players for losing. Like, you'll actually lose coins for losing mini-games, and that game was brutal. Not to mention how unlocking the mini-games was quite a pain. Like, some of the mini-games are way too expensive, and it's hard to try to save up on them to buy them all. Mario Party 2 made it a little bit easier, mainly because it cashed in all the coins from all the different players, where Mario Party 1 only cashed in on the coins you collected, and the ones that you had by the end of the game. So Mario Party 2, it cashed in all the players' coins, even your opponents. And it also cashed in your stars and exchanged them for coins. So that made saving up for mini-games a lot easier. But Mario Party 1, oh my god, it is brutal. I only bought, like, all the... I don't know how many hours I put into it, but I put in a lot of hours, and I've only gotten enough to buy all the 4-player minigames, and to think it'll take even longer than that to get the rest of them, oh my god. But heck, even just getting the final level in that was kind of brutal, like how you had to collect 100 stars, and not total. Like, if it were Mario Party 2, it would have based on how many stars every player collected. No, only the ones that player 1 collected. I'm guessing unless you were playing with multiplayer, so... Unless you had a player 2, 3, and 4, that would be a good way to get through it faster, but not for me. Okay, so Berlin. This one's an okay level, I guess, but I don't know why I thought it'd be fine to play as Peach riding around on a teddy bear, but yeah, I don't like the motorcycles, but the four-wheelers drive a lot better. They turn better, and they feel like they have better acceleration and top speed, but that car came out of nowhere. I don't know, I'd say out of all the tour levels based on like real life locations, this one might be my favorite. Like, this one stands out a little bit better. I don't know how to say it, but like I like the part where you can drive through the little subway or whatever. That was kind of cool. I mean, we've already had a level where you're driving through a subway station, but one that actually lets you drive inside the train for a shortcut. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like how eventually, like, these swamps will start popping out of the walls. You think they'd be obstacles, but no, they're actually ramps. If you drive over them as they fall, you can ramp right over them and get a boost. It's kind of cool. But yeah, this is a nice level. I do like it overall. I forgot to mention though, like the Sydney, Australia one, that one wasn't too bad either. That was from the previous wave, but that was from wave 2. Yeah, I'd definitely say, like, this cup here was my favorite out of the Wave 3 DLC, and possibly my favorite out of all the DLC so far. I just thought this one had the best collection of tracks, where the previous one, the big highlight for the previous cup was definitely the Maple Tree Way. And the Rocky Mountain one, or whatever, from the 3DS one, that was okay, but first 2 levels from that weren't too great. But I could say, like, from what I recall, all the racetracks in this cup were actually pretty good. Something so funny about when the spiny shell hits you, but only when you actually cross the finish line. Better than right before it. Why are the NPCs so big in this level? They're bigger than the racers. What the heck? A lot happening during this replay. Peach Gardens. This was one of my favorite levels from the DS game, and I was surprised. They did change this one up a bit for the final lap. Strangely enough, the final lap eventually has a point where you a new part of the track opens up, and it causes you to do a U-turn, which forces you to then drive the rest of the race in reverse, basically. So you have to drive the racetrack from one end all the way to the other. And so it was kind of jarring at first, because I noticed, like, the other racers were, like, driving right past me in the opposite direction. And I was like, am I driving the wrong way? No, I can't be. It says I'm in first. And so eventually I realized, like, oh, somehow during that final lap, it somehow caused you to do a U-turn to drive through the racetrack backwards. That's really different, honestly. Like, it's not quite like a mirror track. It's an actual reverse track. And I kind of wish the level did a better job at transitioning into that, but because, like I said, it was puzzling at first, but eventually I was able to pick it up. Like, yeah, I'm driving backwards, basically. But otherwise, yeah, this is definitely what I expect from a remake. Taking all the visuals and the layouts from the previous one, sprucing them up. I like all the little additional details they added. Like, they definitely added more decorations. Like, right there, how you can see, like, the little picnic tables and chairs. And they added even more shrubbery of the characters. Like, there's one of Toadette now. And I think in the original, there was just Mario and Peach. Now they added Luigi, Toadette, and I can't remember if the giant piranha plant was there in the center. Like, it's been a while since I've played this, but I mostly just remember this for, like, the hedge maze, the chain chomps, the Monty Moles, and the castle theming and all that. Like, this is a neat level. I always love it in Mario games when they try implementing Peach's castle into some kind of level, even if it's just the outside of it. And but yeah, like, this is so bizarre how all of a sudden you're driving the last lap in reverse. You're taking a little shortcut, and then all of a sudden you just see the other racers just driving right past you. It's like, what the heck? Like, I knew right when I got to this point that I was driving in reverse, definitely. When I saw that piranha plant and I noticed, like, the item boxes were right at the end of that path instead of the beginning of that path, that's when I knew, like, yep, I'm driving backwards. So yeah, it wasn't a necessary change, but it definitely does mix things up a bit, and I can't complain. It's kind of neat. If I recall, that was a feature of Mario Kart Tour. There were reverse tracks where, on certain days, there were missions where they had you drive the entire racetrack backwards, basically. So, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I always kind of like that in some racing games. Like, it's hard to pull off because some racetracks are built to be one way. So, obviously, that's one reason why you don't see modes like that in games, because the only way that would work is if every level's designed to where it can go one way and then back, you know. So, yeah, obviously you couldn't do that with every racetrack in Mario Kart 8, but so, speaking of Mario Kart, it's kind of interesting how the new Mario movie, how it's going to have, like, a little Mario Kart-inspired sequence. There's even a part where it showed, like, Peach going to battle and she's in her biker suit. That was kind of different. But, yeah, I love how they're going to reference that. It makes you wonder what other kind of Mario games we might see reference. Like, are we possibly going to see some kind of nod to the Mario Party series, like a segment inspired by one of the mini games or something? Like, there's just a lot they could take inspiration from. And okay, so this level, I forgot the name of it, but so this is from Mario Kart Tour, apparently. It's new to me, though, because, you know, I don't really play Mario Kart Tour, but why play Mario Kart Tour when you got this better game instead? But, so, yeah, it's basically just an entire Christmas-themed level, and as far as I know, this is new to the Mario Kart series, because, yeah, we've had winter-themed levels in Mario Kart before, but never, like, one that's flat-out Christmas holiday-themed. Like, you got the Christmas trees, like, the candles, and the giant presents. Like, this just spells Christmas. And, yeah, it does its job. It's a nice little racetrack inspired by Christmas. I wouldn't say it's anything, like, stand out, but it's nice, though. Like, it definitely has, like, that wintry charm and the warm glow from the buildings and all that. And, yeah, it looks nice. Kind of on the short end, though, but it's not bad. But, I don't know, I always kind of loved the Christmas-themed levels in video games, whether it was, like, Freezeezy Peak from Banjo-Kazooie or Frosty Village from Diddy Kong Racing. I always had kind of a soft spot for these kind of levels, as long as they're done right. And I remember, like, Kingdom Hearts 2, they had Christmas Town and Nightmare Before Christmas, and I really wanted to like that level, but my biggest complaint was it was way too small. I'm trying to think now, how many Mario Kart 8 racetracks have a train in it now? So you had, like, the Rainbow Road 64, you have the Calamari Desert or whatever it was called, Katamari Desert, whatever, but you got this one. I'm trying to think if there are any other levels that have a train, aside from, like, a subway, or, I mean, like, an actual choo-choo train. I'm trying to think if like that one Ribbon Road level, if that had like a little toy train or something. Let's see, Baby Park, that might have had a train, or maybe it was a roller coaster, I can't remember, but... Or both, maybe, I don't know, but... I'm trying to think, like, out of the top of my head, what levels do I want to see them bring over now that haven't been brought over yet? There's the airship level from Mario Kart DS, Daisy Cruiser from Double Dash, Dino Jungle from Double Dash. I already mentioned Banshee Boardwalk earlier. I'm trying to think, like, what other levels could be brought over from past games. Bowser's Castle 64. I can't recall. Was that remade yet? Or I know that was remade for the Wii version, but not. I don't think that was remade for an HD game yet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other Mario Kart racetracks, but like those are the ones out of the top of my head. If I tried thinking of them all, I'd be here all day. So. Yeah, I've had some challenging races during this last cup. I'm surprised I was able to make in first place in all of them. Had some really close calls, though, especially during the last race with Rainbow Road. Yeah, even that was a close call. I got lucky there because Baby Peach threw a bomb at DK, and if it weren't for that, DK probably would have won that race. But I'd say this is my favorite Rainbow Road track in Mario Kart 8, at least, because I honestly wasn't a fan of the new Mario Kart 8 Rainbow Road. The way, like, it basically just felt like a space station with satellites and all that. I don't know. There's something about, like, the disco floor paneling I wasn't too crazy about, and so, you know, I hated that about the remake of the Mario Kart 64. Instead of using the striped rainbow pattern the original did, it went for, like, a disco floor lighting, and I hated it, and then never really liked the ones from the Super Nintendo games, but this, on the other hand, I mean, yes, once again, it doesn't look quite like a faithful remake of the one on 3DS. One on 3DS had more of like a vertical line of rainbows, but here, I thought this looked visually stunning. The way they made it look more liquefied, like a liquid rainbow or something, I don't know, but I remember, like, really liking this one on the 3DS. It definitely had, like, a Mario Galaxy vibe to it, but I liked how it felt like you were just, like, driving through many different planets and all that. That was really cool, and it looks so much better on Mario Kart 8 with the HD models, the HD textures and lighting, and I'm so glad they did not half-ass it. Like, there's no denying that a lot of the racetracks that were repurposed for Mario Kart 8's DLC do look like they took the easy way out. They use, like, really lousy textures or some really simple model structures, and here it feels like they did not hold back. They really tried their best to make this look visually stunning, and it worked. I really am impressed with this one, and I'd say, like, this was actually my favorite level out of the last cup, at least. But yeah, this final cup has been amazing. I guess funny, earlier in the video I was saying I can't think of a single cup in this game where all the racetracks were good, like ones where I have not much to complain about, and I can't believe I didn't realize it, but yeah, this was it. The Moon Cup actually is the best cup in the DLC, in my opinion. None of the racetracks in here were disappointing. And I definitely say they saved the best for last. But it is funny, though, how in a lot of the other cups, it seems like the one racetrack that was introduced in Mario Kart Tour that wasn't based on in a real-life location, those are usually the final racetracks in these cups. And so it's funny how this one, you think the Christmas racetrack would have been the last one of that cup, and no, it was Rainbow Road 3DS instead. So that was kind of different, but can't complain, though. I mean, it makes sense to have a Rainbow Road be the final track in a cup, and, yeah, I definitely say you think the Christmas one would have been the big event, especially since it basically was planned to be released in time for the holiday season, but either way, great wave of DLC all around. About, like, maybe two racetracks aren't that great, but the rest are passable to great. So, yeah, I really did enjoy this set of courses. look forward to seeing what other racetracks they'll bring to the table. But for right now, this is all we have. But okay, and so I guess that's all I have to show for now. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and have a great day.